Hello and welcome to Hulk's very beginner guide to playing Hearts of Iron 4. I'm not going to try to do anything complicated or anything like that, just kind of lay the framework to just kind of get the basics of the game and kind of have like a solid understanding that you can kind of kick off from and learn how to play the game yourself. Just kind of get the very basic framework of getting started and just having like a very general understanding on how to do war, not necessarily how to build tanks, planes, and probably not really Navy either, as I only really know how to do submarines. I can't really say I know how to do planes at all or tanks really that much either. There's a lot of good templates you can find online for making divisions, which I also don't really know how to do all that well. I have like a vague idea, um, but there's a lot of stuff that is more advanced than what we are going to cover. This is just the very basics of like making a front line, what's a focus tree, just things like that. This is the most basic Hearts of Iron tutorial you can get. Alright, I'm gonna do Sweden. Sweden's a small nation. I guess they're solid enough for a starter country, as the focus tree can kind of gives you a lot of flexibility on what you could do. You can join up with the Allies. You can create your own faction. You can kind of side with the Soviet Union. I think you can go non-aligned too. I haven't studied it too much. I just was looking at it earlier and I picked out this focus. This is the start of the political side of the focus tree. And well, I guess it's technically the start of most of the focus tree. As here's the economic branch here. I do believe well, it might be. Looks like it's a little bit mixed. Here's basically the economic plane, military wing, and navy. It looks like. And this is yeah. You get the Nordic Council, and you can kind of do this. Let me see something. Yeah. That's I just clicked a way that you can kind of shrink it down to have it be focused. Right now, here's the territorial expansion. So like a lot of this stuff's highlighted. There's a lot of war going down in this side of the focus tree, which is what I'm going to shoot for. I'm going to try to do a quick path to it. Although that's the fascist side, and since I don't want to have the civil war, I might need to build up some support within the populace. All focus trees are different, so it's worthwhile for whenever you get started to kind of look at it and figure it out. So like whenever I first got on, which we're probably not going to do a whole playthrough, but right now I'm on Iron Man on regular, so I'm on the achievement difficulty level with no mods. We will have a more part, I would say, kind of covering mods and how to get them. Well, it's mostly just gonna be, hey, you should really get player-led peace conferences. That's definitely a quality of life mod that you really want to have, just so that you can prevent border gore and you can kind of control the peace conference a little bit. It's a little bit cheating, hence why you don't get achievements when you have that on. But if you're benevolent and you can carry out good peace deals, kind of make everybody happy, then it's a great way to do it. But I guess yeah, okay, so yeah, this one you have yeah, non-aligned and the fascist path all together. So I would probably go non-aligned. You know, just to be uh bring back the monarchy. Make things interesting. But one of the things that's always good to have is kind of get things kind of rolling on training up divisions and all that. So at first, I like to kind of select all and see everything, kind of get an army started up. And I particularly don't like to have low quality units, especially in my home country. So I'm gonna disband these guys, and all the manpower and equipment's gonna go back into the pool, which is good because Sweden doesn't have that much manpower, so it kind of gives me a little bit more flexibility to kind of build up something. Let's see. And then you can just kind of pick out a guy. You can look at this different stats because you can also change around the insignia and all that, but that's getting into stuff that's more advanced than what we're gonna be looking at. But like every guy has like different stats that are achieved with different medals. You can give them medals too to help change around what their stats are at the cost of, I believe it is, yeah, command power. And then you can promote them into being a field marshal or a field commander. I think it was marshal before, but this you can promote like the different. They changed up the system now so that you go in and you promote commanders of divisions. You move them up to be generals, which they gain abilities and all that through combat. I don't think training they'll do that, but on this you get to see the different paths that for doctrine, for military, naval, air, and special forces. I personally, I'm a big fan of the mobile warfare doctrine because as you get down towards the end, the desperate defense, you get an extra 5% to your recruitable population, which is definitely a big boost. With without having the drawback that you get with changing up your what's it called? Your laws for recruitable for your conscription law. Usually like to leave it around limited conscription to extensive conscription, as I'm fine with a penalty to training time because as you get to service by requirement, it brings down um, construction speed and outputs, which is definitely something I'd rather not have going awry. Um, so now that you have your army, you can put up a front line, which is a place where they're just all gonna kind of congregate and just kind of start building up defenses. Well, more they'll be entrenched, which builds up. I think it's planning is what it's called, which gives them like a bonus to defense and attack. I think the max that gets up to is two, if I remember right. It's good to you can have them train, but I do believe that regular is the highest that it gets up to, just through exercise and training. And that does also help you get army experience, which you put into the doctrine. Personally, I like to invest heavily in the civilian factories. I don't really put too much into naval, as I don't usually focus in on having a navy. I'll just pump on out submarines and just kind of do that. So I don't usually do anything ever too crazy with that. Um, I put the main focus is in on civilian factories and military factories for me. So that's what I like to do. Kind of put that at least as a start, and then I'll go in and build up infrastructure too. As that's also very important in just moving up supplies and just having movement around. you want your guys to be able to move around quick and be adjustable. And then research is important too. I usually kind of like to start out kind of getting some basic things going, getting the production improved so I can increase building speed, just get out more equipment. Uh, it's all it's all very critical stuff, such as like let me just gather my thoughts for a second. Or get my words all together. It's just really helps to kind of pump out the output of like guns and all that. So it really helps to be able to train up guys quick, have the troops on the field still be viable for combat, and just still able to be an efficient fighting force, obviously. You got this is important if you want to be able to upgrade up your troops. I would say it's a good idea to focus in on engineering, recon. I would say those are probably the two most critical, along with artillery and anti-tank. Usually, I only focus in on trying to get submarines, so I don't really worry too much about anything else other than that. Aircraft is obviously very important, but they have changed around the system on that, making it a little bit more complicated, unfortunately. And we will not be covering that at this time as we're just focusing in on the getting started. So you just kind of go through. You can just getting your troops all kind of together, not necessarily in one army. You can kind of separate them out because like if you're Italy, you have troops in Italy, but you also have troops in Libya and in Ethiopia who you start out at war with. So you kind of got to focus in on that. You also have planes, which it appears we do not have. Wait, no, no, no. I just don't see them because we're not at war. We do have some planes, but I guess we'll cover that if we get into or when we do get into a war, which will be hopefully later on. So looking up here gives you good information on what you might need to be doing. So looks like we have some equipment missing, and we will be needing to build a design for them, which we will get around to in another video. I will see what is the best design since I do also need to be educating myself on that to be able to make solid planes. At least ones that are cheap and functional. Functional. Let's see. There's no artillery in production, so I'm going to start making that. I'll increase the stats of them by having a company help out with that process. Then there's no, this is also how you see the template. We have a pretty solid template actually for the base infantry. I might expand out the combat with and make it a little bit stronger going down. We're going to train up that. I do like to have cavalry just because they can be quite flexible. So that does help out. But it doesn't appear like they have a very good division. I don't the combat width is not where I'd like it. I might try to have it be 3 long and then I guess or 3 wide, 2 long. So I might wait on that and the tanks too. I might bring out the 3 by 3. But that's all that's this that would be all up to you. That would just be my personal play style. Like to kind of have maybe 5 in training at the same time, and where you just click, simply click on whatever region, and then wherever you click, it's going to do that sub-region of that state is where it's going to be foot. Um, uh, do the recruit and deploy. If you want to do it like at a different place, you have to do this again to train, and then you like, oh, I want to have it here, and then you click there, and they're gonna appear in this state here in farmland. Um, and then the decisions is just like where you get political power, or there's an event that's going on. Looks like you start out with a few crises, and through the focus tree, you can kind of solve them and remove. Sorry about that. Remove the negative effects of it. So there is that. And there's always going to be different events that you can kind of work with and do. And I can start off with two obvious formable nations. So if I capture Norway and Denmark, I can form the Kalmar Union, which would give me cores over Norway and Denmark, which increases my manpower as I am able to use those men as core manpower instead of them being non-core, which you get a debuff in the amount of manpower you're able to draw from them. And manpower is extremely critical as it is basically the lifeblood of everything. It's the numbers that affect if you have people be able to fly planes, able to be in the army, able to control the ships. If you run out of manpower, you are losing divisions in the war. You are going to be whittled down, and you are going to lose. It's as critical as fuel. It's very important. But I think that's a very basic, just getting started walkthrough. If you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comments. And I guess the next video will be kind of on war and how to go about that. All right, thank you. You guys have a good one.